Hello there, General Tekno here with a review on the go. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the Dark of the Moon Megatron Voyager class figure. As you can see, he turns into a trailer truck like Revenge of the Fallen and I guess just General Movie Prime. He's a long nose, he's a very Mad Max-ish, and he's got this little tarp on the back which can be removed to reveal a big cylinder thing here on the back. I'm missing the proper term, obviously, but I digress. Anyway, it's very Mad Max-ish, and it actually reminds me a lot of Megabyte's Mega Truck mode in the one episode of Reboot as well. But the really neat thing about this is he's entirely one piece of a figure, and yet they managed to engineer him so that he has a trailer which can actually rotate. This is probably the best feature on this, and it's one of those things that we almost never get on a Transformer. Very cool indeed. It's a bit small in truck mode, but it's a very nice truck mode indeed. As well, there's a lot of little details on Megatron that are worth pointing out. For instance, the Mack Truck logo right here, and if you look really closely, you can see the little bulldog on the top of the truck right here. It's not really detailed, but it's there, and it's pretty cool, quite frankly. And as for the MechTech gimmick, in alternate mode, Megatron has two MechTech ports that are visible. He has one on the top of his truck, and he has one on his weapon as well. The MechTech weapon, I may as well show this off now, can be removed and is activated by pressing in the ladder right here. Pressing in the ladder creates a fusion cannon thing right here, and the ladder can be then turned in order to lock this weapon into place. And as such, we can then go and mount this weapon on his trailer, on his truck bed right here. And now he has his fusion cannon deployed and ready for action. Now to transform this bad boy, we're going to start by removing the cloak right here, the tarp, and his gun, and putting them off to the side. He has a fairly straightforward transformation, as you would think. The back of the truck becomes the legs, and the front becomes the body and arms. However, the really neat thing about this transformation scheme is just how much height he gains. It's actually fairly well compressed, and though I suppose it's partly because of the fact that he is a trailer, he gets a lot more height in robot mode than he had in alternate mode. The legs, as I said, are pretty straightforward, and they're instantly recognizable as movie Megatron style legs with visible wheels on the insides right there, as well as the same style of feet and the upper thighs right here. Moving on to the upper body for the transformation, the arms are tucked neatly under the cab right here, and everything is held in place by the front bumper, which can then be pulled out once we unlock it from the Mack Truck grill and pulled up, so that way we can actually go and bring the arms out. And go over here to the grill, unclip it, and then allow the arms to spread out to their full potential, and then we can raise the head up, which is then locked in place by being able to put the grill in like so. Rotate him at the waist once you're capable of doing so. Position him, and he is already looking a lot like a Megatron. At this point, it is just a matter of fiddling a few parts. Just bringing out the hands, and then reorienting these grill pieces here to form shoulder kibble, which again is very reminiscent of what the Cybertronian mode had. And as a final step to transform this guy, we go and we split the lower part of the front of the truck there to form more of a segmented chest, again resembling Megatron much more from his Revenge of the Fallen design. So it looks very much like it's that exact same Megatron, only he's now taken in Earth mode. And so Is a very good representation of what the Revenge of the Fallen design would look like if it was given an Earth mode. Poseability wise, it's fairly straightforward. It's got some really good thigh articulation here. It's got knees that are fairly poseable as well. It's got double joints at the elbows right here, as well as fairly freeform shoulders. And there's also a ball jointed neck that you can use in order to get a lot of different head poses out of him. The main liabilities, poseability-wise, are the fact that his ankles don't have ball joints, and that he's got those curling iron hands, which is really quite a bit of a liability for some of the cool poses that you can put him in. If we take a close-up at his head right here, you can see that he still bears scars from his battle in Revenge of the Fallen. This whole side of his face is blown away, like when Prime basically knocked it to pieces in his powered up mode, and this side is the more normal side of the head. As for Megatron's accessories, as you saw, he had a couple that we could take away. The main one being this tarp right here. The tarp here has a little cloak that unfolds, and as you can see here, it turns into a bit of a cowl and cape. This cowl and cape can be mounted on Megatron by using this little tab right here and plugging it into a socket right there, as you can see. If we plug that in properly, then at that point we just need to adjust the cape so that the shoulder kibble sticks through and reposition the head ever so slightly. And now we have Megatron in cloaked mode, which is really very, very cool. Let's see if I can get a better look at that. So if you can see here, he's got his cloak, and he's got his head inside the cloak right there. And it looks very, very cool. It's a very, very awesome boss look to Megatron. And then you can adjust his head in here, since it's on the ball joint, and have it cover over the one half damaged side of the face pretty easily. Poseability is a bit limited with this on, to be fair, but quite frankly, he's a badass with a cape, so I don't think many people are really going to complain. As for Megatron's other action feature, there's the MechTech weapon, which I mentioned earlier, which is capable of plugging onto a couple more spots now that we've got him in a new mode. We can get it on the back still for mounting, or we can put it in one of the MechTech ports on his hand. Both of Megatron's arms have MechTech ports, and we can mount it here, like the movie model has him wielding his shotgun, and like this toy, I guess like G1 Megatron. And quite frankly, he is very cool. You can get some neat looking poses out of him, and because of the fact that he has a cape, it is completely and utterly badass. Overall, I don't think there's much disputing that this is quite possibly the best Voyager Megatron toy that we've gotten in all of the movie toy lines. In fact, you could easily argue this is the best Megatron toy period in all the movie toy lines. He has a really cool Earth mode, a pretty neat transformation, and a very impressive robot mode with a cape. You can't beat a robot with a cape and with a giant gun, and quite frankly, you can get some really cool poses out of this guy. The only real drawbacks to him are his lack of paint apps and the fact that he's so small. And so, with all that said and done, in the end, I think this figure on my scale is going to have to merit an awesome. This is General Tekno, signing out.